I want everyone that's not here to be able to see the things that we cover. And guys, sometimes you come up with good questions during our lecture that I like to share with everyone else as well. So, fantastic. I'm getting a few more people sign in. Fantastic. All right, our announcements for week 2 is, first of all, keep up the discussions, guys. You're doing a wonderful job in that area. On your assignments, be sure to give good explanations of your answers. Even if it doesn't specify a certain number of sentences, what I'm generally looking for is around 3 to 5 sentence explanation. Every once in a while, I'll have a student that will turn in just a yes or no response on a question, and you're not going to get as many points on that because I really can't understand your reasoning behind it, and I can't tell that you've read the book or maybe done a little research. So I usually say, don't be afraid to over-explain, to get a little wordy, because I want to be able to truly understand where you're coming from. I'll have some students answer one question thoroughly in 3 sentences. I'll have some students answer a question even more thoroughly in a full paragraph or 2. I've had 1-page assignments that have turned into 3-page assignments. That's fantastic. I know that you're thinking about it, you're thinking through the process, and you're learning a little bit more from it each time. And continue planning for our final project, which we're of course going to talk about today. And we're going to cover some of the key aspects of the project to get you sort of jump-started again. So you'll remember from week 1, let me get my pointer out here, guys. I think I should use the sunshine today because it's beautiful outside. Remember, the purpose is to practice writing a business plan related to your core program. It needs to be related to your core. There's a little research on page 110 in your textbook. There are also these links in week 4 on our final project that will take you to the Small Business Administration and several other websites that give you some pointers on how to write a business plan. And of course, it's best to use either PowerPoint or Google Slides to do this. Okay, here's our breakdown again. I like to show this grading rubric each time so that you know what needs to be in there and how many points each thing is worth. So we talked a little bit about companies last time. We talked a little bit about choosing your product or service, and we're going to go in a little more in depth this time into other aspects. So last week you chose, if you're going to be making a business that's either product or service oriented, this was your kind of mini goal for last week. What do you sell? What's their benefits to the customers? What's the product life cycle? And you should have went to the suggested websites as well. So I hope you guys got that done, because this week you have another final project goal. You're going to choose your company name. That's your starting point. And this is kind of the fun point, is getting to choose your company name, get a little creative. Oh, yes, I will, Lita. It'll probably be next week, though. Yeah. So Lita asked if I'm going to send out an example of the final project, and I am. I'll probably send that in week 3. So you'll have one to compare to, basically, and have a little more of a visualization of what this should look like. I'm a visual learner. I'm also a very visual teacher, which is why I teach online. And when I was on site, I used lots of handouts and of course, lots of PowerPoint. So to me, I need to be able to picture a thing to do it. So I want you to be able to picture it. So this week, you're going to pick out your company name, and you're going to pick out your type of formation. I've had several questions on, I think it was assignment 2.1, where you choose, where you talk about the types of formations, or basic business structures, as sometimes it's called. So this is what you're looking for. The four basic types are sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, and limited liability company, which is also shortened as LLC. So you're going to pick your company name, and you're going to pick your type of formation this week. And you'll know a little bit more as we discuss these types of formations as far as what will be best for the company you're setting up. So I hope that will help out. So first of all, my favorite part, unique business names that work. Google. Who doesn't know Google? It's kind of like when copy machines came out, and from then on for many, many years we called a copy that we made a Xerox. I need to make a Xerox of a paper. And I don't know if you guys remember that. It's kind of back from the olden days. Well, nowadays, whenever we search for something, we Google it, right? It doesn't matter if we're using Google. We might be using a different search engine. We might be using Edge. We might be using Firefox. But we Google it. So Google, the name started as a joke about the amount of information the search engine could search, or a Google, G-O-O-G-O-L, a different spelling. The Google is the number 1 followed by 100 zeros, but a misspelling on a check by an investor resulted in the spelling Google. And if you look at it, to me, it's just more pleasing to look at with that different spelling. So I'm kind of happy they messed up on that. Exactly. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola's names come from the coca leaves and the cola nuts used as flavoring. Eventually, Coca-Cola creator Jonas Pemberton changed the K of the cola to a C to create a more fluid name. So can you imagine nowadays if you went to go buy a Coca-Cola, which we shortened to Coke, and it was spelled C-O-C-A-K-O-L-A, the double C's just seem to go together better. And next, IKEA. And I believe, now is there an IKEA store in Tulsa now? Or am I thinking of a different business that opened up not too long ago? Maybe not IKEA. Maybe that's one that I just want to come to Tulsa. IKEA is a random collection of letters. It uses the first letter of the founder, and I do not know how to say his name correctly, Ingvar Kamprad's name, and the first letters of the Swedish property in the village where he grew up. Ingvar Kamprad, Elmchard, a Gunyard, is how I'm going to guess on that. So those four things came together to form the name IKEA. And it's kind of a catchy name. It's very unusual, but the way they have marketed their company has made it become a very recognizable name. A lot of people enjoy going to IKEA stores, so there you go. So now we need to work on naming your business, right? You could use a business naming firm, and in 6 months' time and for about $80,000, they will come up with a name for you. That's just an average. So large corporations, large businesses, some of those millionaires that we researched in week 1, they might use a business naming firm. However, for this purpose, we're going to create our own. Unless somebody has a spare $80,000 laying around, you're welcome to invest that in your business plan. So how should you name your business? I know, right, Andrea? I don't know. The name of your business communicates to consumers about your business. So sometimes you're driving down the road and you'll see a sign that is the name of a business, and you'll have absolutely no idea what it is just by seeing the name. So it's kind of important when you pick your business name, things I could do with that money. That's right, Autumn. So the name of your business conveys what you do. So if you look at the first example, the muffler shop, that's very specific. That's where I would go to get my muffler fixed, right? Facebook, 2 syllables. At first we didn't necessarily know what that meant, Facebook, but since it's been around for so many years, we understand. Facebook, we know what it is. If it starts with an A, it will be at the top of the list. This is a little old-fashioned-y because it's really referring to in a phone book. If you go to the yellow pages, the businesses that start with a letter A tend to get more phone traffic because they're the first one listed. And if somebody's unsure of what they're looking for, that's where they start, at the top of the list. Nowadays, when we look something up on the computer, the people who are at the top of the list are the ones that have paid to be there. So you tend to get your large corporations near the top. It'll say paid ad or something like that near the top of your response. Do not use strings of numbers or initials because they really don't convey what you have. H&T Products, 1, 2, 3, let's go. Neither of those are very specific and they're pretty vague. So the name should be broad and meaningful, avoid location names, and specific products. So the reason being is you might want to grow someday and you might sort of be stuck with a term where you can't grow. So Tulsa laptops. Now, it's specific, as we talked about in the prior slide. However, Tulsa is specific to a location. What if you wanted to open up your same store in Oklahoma City, in Kansas City, in Miami, Oklahoma? That name then needs to drop off and you lose a little bit of your identity. So instead, if we expanded it, Computer Experts might be a better choice. Computer opens up the range a little bit more. We don't have a specific location in that name, and adding the term experts to it makes people think that you obviously know a lot more about that product, right? It doesn't guarantee it, but it makes customers feel that way. We talk about psychological processes when we name things, when we price them later on. Test drive the name of your business. What do other people think? So I want you to come up with a few ideas for your business. I don't know if you've thought about it already. Maybe you already have your name picked out. Or maybe you already run a business and so you know specifically what you're going to use. But it's a good idea when you're trying to decide is, you know, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, talk to your coworkers and say, hey, which name do you like best? Which rolls off your tongue more? Which helps describe what my business does more? So it's always good to get some more brains in on it. Here we go. Should be easy to pronounce and remember. Bad, Mojonticus. Better, Mojo BMX Racing. Specific, we know what it is. It's fun to come up with a quirky name. Now, IKEA did it and did well, right? But if we come up with a quirky name and no explanation of what our business is, then we may not get that customer base that we want. You also want to make sure or check if the name and domain is available. Now, this is if you were actually starting your business. You don't need to check the name and domain for this project for your business plan. But if you, our state has a database you can search, and you can see if that company name and the internet domain is available. Because ultimately, when you start a business, you do need to have some type of online presence, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's a website itself. And your best bet is to have the website that is the name of your business. Examples, Walmart.com, Target.com, you know, JCPenney.com. It makes it a lot easier if you don't have some website name that's different from your actual business name. So that would be something to check out. So here's a few examples, guys. This is sort of a visual representation of a brainstorming activity trying to come up with a name of a cleaning company, right? So the one that they ultimately chose is in the middle, Pickup Artist Cleaning Company. And I want you to take a look at some of the other options on there and tell me which ones first you don't like. So look at that list. Tidy Mighties. I know, Brianne, because it makes you think of what? Tidy Whities. Diapers. Okay, we had different thoughts there. Okay, so you do not like Tidy Whities. Wow, that is just weird. I agree. I agree. Or wax on, wax off. I guess it would be whoa, right, Jennifer? Like daisies doesn't sound like a cleaning business. Exactly. You're not really sure what that is. Cleanifornia, Brandy, I agree. It's hard to say. Cow Living. So I'm guessing that this company is based out of California. So that's giving you a state-specific beginning. Cleaning Casas doesn't really make sense. Oh, Cleanly. That's right. So Autumn, you don't like pickup artists? See, some people won't. Exactly. And what Bling Sparkle, Tidexia, Supreme Scrubbers. There's just so many in here. Iris Essence, Freshzy. There are so many that are hard to say that do not tell you what the name is. And Adrian, you liked it. You like to play on words. Okay, so now looking at our list, tell me which ones you like the best. If you were choosing the name for a cleaning company out of these possibles, which one would you choose? Because there are several in there that are okay, actually. Right? Spotless, Pickup Artist, Masters of Clean. It's kind of like that expert name, right? Masters of Clean. Polishing Posse, Tidy Pros Cleaning Company, Spotless, Cleanlandia. Yeah, Chelsea, that was kind of cute. It is. And there was another one, let me look real quick, that I kind of liked in the past. What was it? It was another one that was a play on words. Oh, Spotless Spaces. I kind of like that one too, Crystal Clean. So can you tell from, oh, HCC, yep, House Cleaning Call, Elegant Elements, Home Owner's Dream Cleaning. So there will be different reasons that you guys are drawn to these names, and the same reason goes for your potential customers. So you want to pick a name that will draw in the most number of customers, right? That's the most acceptable, that's easier to say, that's easier to understand. Oh, you too, Autumn. I'm glad you got to come for a little bit. So you get the idea. Brainstorm about your business name. So now that you've thought about it just for the last 20 minutes, okay, Brianne, I had to come up with a name for a cereal back in high school. It was called Frosty Flakers. You may have had an inspiration there somewhere. That's funny. Okay, I'm going to get my typer out here, my little lettering machine. And I want you guys to tell me if you have already thought of an idea for your business name. And would you be okay with sharing it to help others in the process as well? Sounds like Snowman. Exactly. So while you guys are thinking, I'm going to put up one of my business names. Whenever I ran our pet boarding facility, we were Greenacre, oh, I can't type today. Greenacre Getaway Pet Boarding. And we didn't just take care of dogs. We had dogs, cats. We had a duck one time. One time we had wallabies. So That was ours. Oh, Adrian. Adrian's Keeps or Keepsakes. So Keepsakes makes me think of knickknacks and like a store where you go to buy things. Maybe Adrian's Keeps would be better because you're bookkeeping. Yeah. Okay, anybody else have a potential name? Oh, Adrian, I missed your previous one. Let me go back up there. Insurance Claim Advisor, LLC. Tells you exactly what you do and your business formation too. So advisor with an O or an E. Oh, wow. So I don't have spell check on this option. It drives me nuts. It's hard to live without spell check, people. Okay, let me come back down here. Lita. Lita's Little Angels Daycare. And again, it tells you exactly what you do there. Oh, I left out your A, Lita. I'm so sorry. I don't know if it's going to let me put it back in. It doesn't look great, but I got it in there. Okay. Anybody else? So this week, one of your things to do is to come up with your business name. And sometimes it's great to, oh, you're thinking, Brianne? Okay, great. I know it's like no pressure, but if you happen to have one, that'd be great. I had a cleaning business of my own for a while called Naturally Clean. And, oh, and I spelled it wrong. And I made all my cleaning products from natural ingredients. So we have that name in there. It made me a little different from the other people in town that offered home cleaning services. And also because of that, I charged a little extra fee too. And Brandy has Stanley's Law Firm. Sounds very official. Yes. Jennifer Mass, M-A-S-S, Mobile Autoclave Support Services. Very good. I like the initials too. Well, good job, guys. You came up with some fantastic ideas there. Good stuff. And, oh, InsureAid. Yeah. Very good. And from these, then, reflect back on a little bit about we covered on the naming the business. Is it short? Is it easy to read? Does it convey what you do as a product or a service? And you might tweak it a little bit in the next few weeks as we go on to our business plan. So very good, guys. Again, that's my favorite part, is getting to name businesses. Okay, our next part, maybe not my favorite anymore, but very essential, because you need to, thank you, Andrea, you need to pick what type of business ownership you're going to choose. Oh, yes, Lita, exactly, exactly. It's good to have something you love incorporated in there. I almost feel like I've lost some, I don't know if the sun moved over, I've lost some light in my video. The big four business ownership types or structures, these are listed in your e-text, guys, are sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, and limited liability company. Now, there's some basic differences between each of these. A sole proprietorship is a business that's owned by a single individual. So if you plan on being the sole proprietor, you don't want to go into business with a partner, then a sole proprietorship might be an option for you, especially if it's a smaller business. Oh, let me see. Yeah, exactly, Adrian, exactly. In a partnership, 2 or more people serve as co-owners of the business. Sometimes they both put money into it. Sometimes one put the money in and the other one's putting in the hard work. There's lots of different ways you can have this set up. Corporation is a business, but it's also a separate legal entity, and that gives you some advantages, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. And then a limited liability company is kind of a newer hybrid with characteristics of both a corporation and a partnership. So be sure you become familiar with these 4 things. If we look at these graphs really quick, oh, I'm freezing up for a couple seconds. Gotcha, Lita. And you know what we've narrowed that down to is Blackboard Collaborate. I thought that it was my internet for so long because I live in the country and we don't have DSL out here. I have a dish on my roof. And I really thought it was my internet. We paid for the highest power one that we could get. But people that do their live lectures from Community Care College are having the same issues as well with the freeze-ups from time to time. So in the future, we may actually be switching the program that we use for our live lectures, and I hope that'll help out a little bit. Oh, gotcha. A storm is on the way, Brianne. Oh, no. And let me see. I think it was, Brianne, mine will probably be a partnership. I'm doing business on equine rehabilitation, but I haven't thought of a name yet. What a fantastic business idea. Yeah, and a partnership may be a good choice there, exactly. You got it. Okay, so if you look at these forms of ownership, if you're on a computer, you're able to see the breakdown of these pie charts. And these are from your book. Exhibit 6.1, total number of businesses by form of ownership. There's very important differences between these 2 pie charts. The biggest pie on 6.1 is sole proprietorships. So as far as total number of businesses out there, there are more sole proprietorships than anything else, followed by corporations and then partnerships. Now LLC isn't included in this graph. Then if you look over at 6.2, total net income by form of ownership, this is where we see the big difference. Corporations carry a huge chunk of the money. So even though corporations are fewer, they make a lot more money because they're larger, different structures. Sole proprietorships is actually the smallest pie on the second chart, followed by partnerships being in the middle. So that's kind of a good visual of how we're set up out there, that there are a lot of sole proprietorships. Excuse me. Oh, both children are asleep. Good, Lita. That reminds me of doing homework when I was a nanny. I did that for a few years, and the people that I worked for didn't mind if I was working on my homework when they were napping. Okay, advantages and disadvantages of sole proprietorships. Advantages: easy to form. Retention of control is easy because it's just you. Pride in ownership. Retention of all the profits. And there's some possible tax advantages. Now, some of the disadvantages: limited financial resources because the money is just up to you. Unlimited liability. If something happens, you are the person they will come after. Limited ability to attract and maintain talented employees. This one's iffy. It really depends on how well you run your business. Heavy workload of responsibilities and lack of permanence. So having said that, I see examples of all of these with friends of mine that have started businesses. I have friends that run a restaurant, and it seems like they have to be there all the time. Even when they get a manager, they get good workers. As soon as you know it, you'll have someone that quits. So they assume a very heavy workload, but their advantages are they have the pride of the ownership. They get all the profits. So you just have to balance which type of formation will be best for your type of business. So general partnerships, I like this, 2 heads are better than 1. Advantages, pooled financial resources, shared responsibilities, ease of formation, similar to the sole proprietorship, and some tax advantages. Disadvantages, again, unlimited liability. Even if you have a partnership, legally, you're the 2 people that come after. Disagreements can, of course, happen with a partnership, even if you're lifelong friends, go into business together, and it gets a little more difficult. Lack of continuity and difficulty in withdrawing from the agreement. Say if one of the partners wants to pull out and go into a different area. Corporations, next. Limited liability, permanence, easy to transfer ownership because it's sort of a separate entity of its own. Ability to raise capital, specialized management. Disadvantage, expense, complexity of formation and operation. So it takes a little more paperwork to put together a corporation, a little more money. Double taxation, so you are taxed as an individual and then again as a corporation as well. Paperwork, complications when operating, conflicts of interest. So some of those. And lastly, the limited liability company. And again, you'll see this pop up as LLC in some of our coursework. This is kind of a cool one that a lot of people choose. Advantages, limited liability, it's a tax pass-through, simplified management and operation, flexible ownership. Disadvantages, complexity of formation, franchise taxes might apply. You might be considered a foreign status in other states, and so you have to check with the other states you're wanting to expand to. Limited to select industries, and state laws can also be different. So you might have a sole proprietorship type formation that is an LLC. You might have a partnership that is an LLC. The main thing you get with an LLC is protection as far as your liability goes. Say if somebody gets hurt on the job, if somebody gets hurt, a customer, or maybe you've goofed a job and there's some structural damage to a house that you've worked on. Being an LLC can provide you a little bit of that legal. Okay, and let me see, Brienne, but clunkers and chunkers salvage. Oh, I love that. That's a really cute name. Okay, see, if you were a business naming company, you may have just made $80,000. I like that. Okay, so thinking about the 4 basic types of formation, and you may not have those memorized in your head yet, but let me hop back really quick. Sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, and limited liability. Okay, try to memorize those really quick so that you're able to pull those names out on our final slide here. There's probably a thing I could come up with. SPCL. Okay, sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, limited liability company. All right, let's hop back over. So on our businesses here. I'm going to give you a few ideas of businesses that you may or may not want to open. Let's say you're opening a t-shirt and screen printing business. What type of formation do you think would be best or would be a good choice for this business? So Adrian, were you saying sole proprietorship or partnership? Chelsea said sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship. Yeah, I think those are all good choices because this is a generally low risk type of business, right? You're not working on someone else's house. You're not building something for them, working on a car. There's lots of different things that may give you some liability, but creating t-shirts may be a fairly safe business. So yes, sole proprietorship would be a great choice. What about a restaurant? What would you choose as the business form for a restaurant? Chelsea, I think a partnership would be great because being able to share the workload. Partnership, yeah. I mean, you could definitely go with the sole proprietorship on this as well, but as far as keeping your sanity goes, I think a partnership would be a fantastic way. Yeah. Okay, I think all of you agree on that. What about a beauty salon? What would you do for your form of business for a beauty salon? Partnership, but what if it's a franchise or a corporation? Exactly, Brianne, if it were growing in that final question, a corporation may be a better one. Okay, Andrew said sole, Jennifer corporation, Lita said sole. Oh, Tangela, your family has a shop. Oh, great. So do you know what they're considered? Are they sole proprietorship? Are they in a partnership? Are they an LLC? Oh, it's a solo. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Well, one of the things about, let's say you're just opening a small beauty shop. What a lot of smaller beauty shop owners do is they pay the rent, they pay the utilities, and then they charge their hairdressers a fee to be able to use their stations. It's almost like renting out spots. Now, some don't. Some hire you and they're paid hourly, and then they also get their tips. So there's different ways to have it set up. The main thing is with a beauty salon, like sublease. Exactly, Andrea, exactly. So there's different ways you could do this one. In a beauty salon, you're working on people's hair, you're using chemicals, you might be doing nails, pedicures, manicures, all those good things. I'm going to recommend on this one that you go with LLC, a limited liability company, okay? And because of that added protection that you have within that type of business. What happens if you get sued over somebody's bad hair? And it happens, it does. So, okay, what about landscaping? Think about this business, what you would be doing. Going to people's homes, going to businesses. Bingo! You guys are so catching on. An LLC would be a great choice for a landscaping or a corporation, Jennifer. You're right. You're right. Very good. Again, there's things that could happen. You could tap into their water line system. You could be trimming a tree and it falls on the roof. You know, there's lots of different things. Yeah, LLC or corporation would be great. And then lastly, auto repair. Kind of along the same lines. Right? Corporation or LLC. Very good, guys. So I hope you can see from thinking about these different type of businesses how you can see how certain businesses fit in better slots, in certain slots better, and how when you're setting up your business for your business plan, you're going to choose the one that will be best for yours as well. Okay? So just take a moment, think about your business, you know, and then you're going to pick your business type. Very good, guys. You guys have been fantastic. I love all the comments and the boxes and stuff. So do you have any questions at this time? We're barreling through. Week 2, I'm going to be grading 2.1 assignments tonight. Be sure if you've got something out late, get it in as soon as possible. I'll always give you some points for it. About the only thing you can't make up are discussion boards and tester quizzes. So be sure to get those in on time by Saturday at midnight. Okay? Fantastic, Andrea. Good. Hey, that's my sole purpose, is I want you to be excited. I don't want you to be scared about this. Good, good. Yeah, I want you to feel solid about putting it together. It's not a scary thing. It can be a very fun thing. Yes. Fantastic. And in week 3, I'll show you the example as well, so that you'll be able to have that visual idea of what it should look like too. Good, guys. Well, have a fantastic rest of your week, and if you can't think of anything else, you can scoot on down the road. Have a good day. Brian says, one thing that helps me remember LLC is that most places that are LLC are the ones that do things that may cause an accident, yep, that they have no control over, so they are limited for being liable. Exactly, exactly. That's a good way to remember it. That nails it. Good, Lita, good. Lita came in to the office on Tuesday and asked some questions about the business plan as well. So guys, you're welcome to come in. I'm there every Tuesday. If possible. Unless you live in Kansas, you may not want to make that big drive. That's okay. You can call me, text me, Facebook me, lots of options. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day. You too, Jennifer. You too, Tangeline. Have a good rest of your day. Bye, Brandy. Bye, Brianne. Bye, Chelsea. Thank you. Bye, Adrian. You guys are awesome. Bye.